What if the movies weren't lying? What if the idea of the dead walking the earth wasn't just fiction, but a possibility waiting to happen? When you start looking at brain parasites, weird science experiments, and some secret stuff that governments don't exactly talk about, it makes things scary. Like there is something that is still hidden from us. So today we are going to find out whether zombies could be real or not. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Let's find out. Real-life horrors. Back in 2012, something happened in Miami that made people ask that exact question. A man named Rudy Eugene attacked another man right there on a busy highway. But this wasn't some random fistfight or mugging. He literally chewed the man's face. Broad daylight, cars honking, people shouting, and he just kept going. Witnesses described it as a nightmare playing out in front of them. And here's the part that really twists your stomach. Police had to shoot him to stop him. And even then, he didn't go down right away. That story blew up worldwide. They started calling it the Miami zombie case, and you can imagine why. It was too on the nose, too close to the thing we only joke about, zombies walking among us. Now, you might think, okay, that was one freak accident. But nope, that wasn't the only case. Around the same time, other strange and violent incidents kept popping up. People going wild, attacking others, and even eating flesh. And here's the kicker. Many of them showed an almost unnatural strength. It took multiple officers to bring them down. So what was behind it? Drugs, synthetic ones like bath salts, which scramble the brain chemistry and crank up aggression. These substances strip away logic, strip away humanity, and leave behind something primal and terrifying. Picture it. One hit of a chemical, and suddenly, a regular person looks and acts more like a horror villain than a neighbor. Doesn't that feel just a little too close to the zombie stories we've grown up with? And hey, this isn't just about humans making bad choices. Nature itself already has some nightmare fuel baked into it. There's this parasite called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. Yeah, that's a mouthful. But it's basically a fungus that infects ants. Once inside, it hijacks the ant's nervous system like some creepy puppeteer. It forces the ant to climb up high, bite onto a leaf, and just hang there until the fungus bursts out of its body, spreading spores like a real-life monster movie scene. Now, scientists say, don't worry, it doesn't work on humans. But that's what makes your skin crawl, right? If the blueprint already exists in nature, if a parasite can literally control another creature's brain, what's to say something similar couldn't someday adapt to us? They call it unlikely. But unlikely isn't impossible. The secret experiments. Okay, if nature doesn't get us, maybe science will. And I don't mean science as the villain here. Don't get me wrong, I love technology, I love medicine. But let's be real. Sometimes humans start poking around in places we probably shouldn't. And when we do, history shows, we don't always know when to stop. Right now, researchers are messing with everything from DNA to brain function. They're trying to rewire neurons, revive dead cells, and even experiment with gene editing tools that could alter behavior. That's exciting on one hand. It could cure diseases. But on the other hand, it could unleash something we can't control. Think about rabies for a second. It's already terrifying. A virus that infects animals and flips a switch. Suddenly, the animal is hyper-aggressive, fearless, and desperate to attack and bite. Humans can get rabies too, and unless you treat it almost immediately, it's basically a death sentence. Now here's the horror movie scenario. What if rabies mutated? Or worse, what if some lab somewhere engineered a version that spreads faster with a shorter incubation period and more control over the brain? You wouldn't just have victims. You'd have people still alive but stripped of everything that makes them human. Doesn't that sound like the exact description of a zombie? And rabies isn't even the scariest example. Ever heard of prion diseases? They're like silent killers. Creutzfeldt-Jakob, for example, literally eats holes in the brain. Victims lose their memory, their sense of self, and their ability to move normally. They twitch, they stagger, they eventually waste away into something unrecognizable. Now, imagine if a disease like that were contagious in the way the flu spreads. You wouldn't need the dead crawling out of graves. You'd just need the living slowly breaking down, one by one. Governments and labs have admitted, yes, admitted, that they've dabbled with bioweapons. The Cold War was full of experiments that sound like plot lines from a horror novel. Viruses tweaked, chemicals designed to mess with human behavior. If even one of those experiments went wrong or slipped out, what do you think would happen? We joke about zombie movies, but sometimes I wonder if they're less fiction and more warning. Because if you've got parasites in the wild and scientists in the lab both tinkering with the brain, maybe the monster we're afraid of isn't dead at all. Maybe it's alive, and it's us. How it could all begin. When we talk about zombies, we always picture the same thing. Graves is cracking open, hands bursting through the dirt, groaning, shuffling corpses hunting the living. But if the apocalypse ever comes, it probably won't look like that. It'll be quieter, subtler, and a lot scarier. Imagine this. A new street drug shows up. Cheap, easy to find, highly addictive. People take it, and within days, they're losing their grip on reality. Violence spikes, attacks happen in the streets. Or maybe it's not a drug, it's a virus. At first it looks like the flu. Hospitals fill up, but nothing too crazy. Then patients start biting nurses. Police are called in, but now they're overwhelmed too. Videos hit social media, clips of people staggering, screaming, and attacking strangers. Someone whispers, "zombie," and suddenly the internet catches fire. That's all it would take. A single outbreak in a major city. And within weeks, the whole system could collapse. Airports shut down, borders close, and armies are called in. And yet the infection keeps spreading. But the real kicker, it's not even the zombies that would destroy us. It's us. Civilization only works because we believe it works. Because we trust that tomorrow the lights will turn on, that the grocery store will have food, that our neighbors won't come crashing through the door. Once that trust evaporates, game over. Could it really happen? So, bottom line, could zombies actually be real? Will we wake up one day to sirens, screaming neighbors, and breaking news showing people eating each other alive? The honest answer, it's not impossible. We already have drugs that scramble brains and make people violent. We already have parasites that hijack behavior. We already have viruses that alter personality and destroy minds. Add in scientists tinkering with things they don't fully understand, governments hiding experiments behind closed doors, and a society that's one panic away from chaos. And suddenly zombies don't feel like movie monsters anymore. They feel like a matter of time. And maybe that's why we love zombie movies so much. Deep down, we know they're not just monsters, they're mirrors. They show us how fragile we are, how everything we take for granted, our safety, our order, even our humanity, could shatter in an instant. Remember Rudy Eugene? One man, one attack, and the whole world whispered about zombies. That wasn't a script. That was the news. So what happens when it's not one man? What happens when it's hundreds, thousands? Here's the unsettling truth. Zombies don't need to claw their way out of graves. They don't even need to look like the ones on TV. They could already be walking among us, hidden in new outbreaks, lurking in experiments, whispering through the next strange headline you scroll past without thinking. So don't ask, could zombies ever be real? The real question is, when it finally starts, will we be ready to survive? Tell me in the comments section. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such mysterious facts. Thanks for watching.